Hello, wonderful. This is Sarah, and want to talk to you guys about the biggest issue facing that I see facing businesses, facing our world, facing America, facing wherever you are. And it is not recession or inflation or anything else like that. It is the inability to balance well-being and productivity. And this is a big conversation that's come up. Before COVID, nobody really cared as far as employees and businesses. That wasn't even a conversation. It was like you go to work, you do what you're supposed to do, and then we pay you and you be quiet, right? Like that was kind of the approach that worked for a long time. And then it stopped working. And you had all these people, they call it the great resignation, where all these people quit and try to work from home. A lot of those people are going back to work now or going back to corporate. I think a lot of them try to become coaches and recognize how much harder it is than it looks. We just make it look easy, right? But in that conversation, my earring's kind of doing something crazy here. In that conversation around well-being and productivity, I hear both people complaining. And one, I hear employees say that they're overworked and don't have enough time to get everything done. And then I hear this whole other conversation about that people don't want to work anymore. And it's fascinating. We were supposed to get our deck built, and we hired a company, and it's been like 6 months, 7 months. I don't know how long it's been. I was supposed to have my book launch on the back deck. It didn't happen. There is no back deck. There's weeds from where we dug up the sod to create a back deck, but no back deck. Okay. And it's been incredible, like talking to these people, and it's like, they're like, we don't have employees. We don't have this one employee actually died. It was really terrible. And then another employee ran off with our money. Like it's been this whole disastrous thing. And we're going to have a reckoning, right? Like we all are looking to up-level ourselves. I'm a huge proponent of well-being and mental health. And what if the people who provide our food, like, just need mental health days and they just don't want to do it anymore, and so they stop working? Like, how do we get our groceries? We need truckers to ship things. We need our internet to work. We need our clients contracts to be fulfilled. We need, like, and it's this really, during COVID we kind of took this like break, and it was like, well-being wins. And then now we're in this process of like, does productivity win now? Does well-being win? What's happening? And there's a lot of statistics around burnout. 77% of people saying they've experienced burnout. A lot of people are not independent problem solvers, right? So how did you learn how to solve a problem? Did your parents teach you? A lot of the past ways of making decision was like, well, you should make the decision your parent wants because they're the parent and that's why, which worked for that generation and provided a lot of structure. And then the internet happened. Okay. We don't just go into the same business our parents did because that's the family business. We don't just do what has always been done because that's just the right way you do things. Like that way of thinking is just gone. So we make 35,000 decisions a day. Okay. 219 about food. So when you think there's 35,000 decisions a day, we're in the information age, so we're in information overload. Statistically, we take in more information. The average person today takes in more information than someone 300 years ago would have taken in their entire lifetime. Right? They stayed in their cities. They didn't have TV. They didn't have access to books and information. I found out today that for some reason, the internet wanted to tell me that Khloe Kardashian had her baby daddy that she had by surrogate, like at the hospital with her. Maybe this is old information. I don't keep up with the Kardashians enough to know what's happening. But like Khloe was like in a hospital bed, but she didn't have the baby. She like had a baby by surrogate, but she like was taking pictures in the hospital bed as if like she had the baby. Very odd. Okay. Obviously information I did not need to know, but that information would not have gone to people 300 years ago. I mean, I was like checking my calendar for the day and this information pops up. And so now I know about Khloe Kardashian's baby and how old her husband is and that he apparently had a baby out of wedlock with somebody. I mean, all this is information I do not need to know. I do not keep up with the Kardashians. I do not watch that show. But because of the internet thinks I should know this, right? And I did click on the article, like it was clickbait. Because I was like, why does she have a baby by surrogate? And she was in a hospital bed. Like these things do not make sense to me. Anyway, these are the type of things that our brains get sent now that are completely irrelevant, but they take up space and they distract us. And so when you think about 77% of people in burnout, making 35,000 decisions a day and not having a framework for making decisions, like a mental health day every once in a while isn't going to cut it. Do we need more of a work-life balance? Maybe. Is that the solution? Is to just give employees more time off? I am here to scream no. And I'm here to scream, I want there to still be food in my grocery stores. I want people who I've given money to as far as contracts to be able to deliver on those contracts because I paid them and they're going to deliver. I think you want these things too. And companies and businesses and individuals need a better answer than just work less. And I'm extremely concerned with like all the burnout coaches and all this whole idea, just like, well, just don't go to work or just quit your job. Or it's just like, really? Like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen if everybody just quits their jobs? Well, what we found is they're going back to their jobs, and they're going back to their jobs disheartened, right? They're going back to their jobs without a solution. Okay. So if you want groceries in your store and you want your doctor to have the medicine it needs because the trucker brought the medicine it needed for you to have whatever you need if your baby's sick, like these are things that we as a society need. And, it's nice to talk about corporate in an isolated incident and say, okay, yeah, have a mental health day every once in a while. What happens if hospitals aren't able to staff and my child is choking and I take my baby to the hospital and they say, oh, well, a lot of our nurses really needed a mental health day, right? I'm not saying work-life balance. I'm saying we need other solutions. And I am confident I can be that a lot of people are solving the wrong problems. A lot of people aren't clear about what problems they're trying to solve. A lot of people are stuck in, they're moving, but they're not creating momentum. They're not getting forward and meeting goals in their life. And they've heard, oh gosh, so the most interesting thing about the information age is that we apply these concepts, right? One of the things people think I probably say a lot in my work around high conflict relationships is you should love yourself. There's so many coaches saying like, you should love yourself or whatever. And they assume that I'm going to say, oh, you should love yourself. I hardly ever say that. I don't know if I ever say that. What I say is you should keep your promises to yourself. So you build that self-trust. So you build that real confidence. Okay. But it's whatever it is, there's so much information out there. And so people know, like the doctors talk about this, right? So like the internet, like I Googled my cancer. And so I figured out a solution. And it's like, man, I don't think Google makes up for the years of medical training I've had. And I'm not saying you should not advocate for your own well-being and mental health and physical health. You should. I'm not saying don't try to inform yourself. I'm saying within the information age, we see a lot of people thinking, oh, I have a solution, but it's not the real problem they're trying to solve, or it's not the right solution. And so they're exhausted and they're trying to be productive. They're trying to get their work done. They're trying to solve that conflict with marketing, or they're trying to figure out how to get that shipment to come in, right? I don't think people are lazy. I think they haven't had a framework for making decisions. And then the internet happened and information age happened, and we make 35,000 decisions a day, and we're all in information overload. And the greatest employees and the greatest businesses and the greatest companies and individuals and everything else, whatever you are, we are all going to have to find the balance between well-being and productivity. I see a lot of people leaning super into well-being, and there's going to be a cost to that. I see some in the past, we've gone straight only into productivity, and there's been a cost to that. There's been a burnout. There's been work-life crisis. There's people who say, I missed every kid's game. And I just want to just go off on a tiny little tangent and say youth sports. Like if you were at every event that ever existed, like every practice and everything for your kid, like you would literally not get anything done because youth sports have taken over the world. Just a side note. So forgive yourself on that one. And show up for your kids well, right? It's all a balance, right? It's all a balance. I had to change some things around this week twice to show up for my kids' games. And I'm happy to do that. I love my babies. I'm happy to do that. But there has to be a balance. And we're just really struggling with that right now. And businesses are struggling with that. According to Deloitte, there's been a lot of research around this, 77% of people in burnout. And I know if you have a framework for making decisions and you're not stuck in indecision and you're not stuck in the wobble of, oh, is this person gonna be mad at me? Should I do this? Oh, you can clear out an outrageous amount of time and energy from your current schedule. Just with figuring out what's happening internally. That's not quitting your job. That's not moving to Tahiti. That's not making your son quit hockey. That's not having more Netflix and chill days, more bubble baths. It's literally refocusing in. And if you are already a great decision maker, or I won't say great decision maker, because that's everyone maybe thinks they're a great decision maker. If you are already confident in how you make decisions, your ability to execute decisions very quickly and efficiently, you're probably frustrated because someone else in your life is stuck. But be nice to them. They didn't learn this in school. Their parents said, I'm the parent, that's why. And no, I'm not saying but, I'm saying and we all need to find a well-being productivity that is kind, that is respectful, and that we can keep our lives going. We can keep our businesses going. We can keep having food in the grocery store and medicine at our doctors and a nurse there to save our lives or save my baby's life if I bring my baby in and my baby's choking and needs someone, right? There's so many of us that are just our world and our jobs are so essential. I'm so thankful that my accountant does my accounting so I don't have to. I'm so thankful that the engineer showed up when they were supposed to and built that bridge. So as I was driving across it, my car didn't crumble. I'm so thankful for people who have found that balance of well-being and productivity. And I am quite confident that if you haven't found it, then if you check out my new book, Problem Solved: Simple Habits for Complex Decisions, you're going to get a framework. Sometimes I do these and it's like, oh, what's the solution? I'm like, I can give you some of the solution. But right now, we're not even aware that there's a problem. We're just so used to being exhausted. And then okay, I'm going to work as hard as I can in the week. And then the weekends, I'm going to just veg out because I'm so exhausted and eat cereal out of a bowl because I'm so exhausted. And then I'm going to wake up and do it again. Or they think the only solution is quit their job or, change jobs and it's, there are other solutions. There are other solutions, and it starts between your ears. It starts with getting that framework for decision making so the 35,000 decisions you make a day don't exhaust you. Okay? It starts with being clear on what problem you're trying to solve so that you spend your energy solving the right problem. Not distracted by this problem or distracted by this problem or using up all your energy solving your children's problems that are adult children, right? You should advocate for your littles. But I see people, they might have a 28-year-old child, oh, I'm solving all my children's problems. I'm like, babe, I'm so sorry. You can't. And then they have their problems they need to solve, or the wanting to solve their boss's problems, right? Oh, I wish my boss would do this. I wish my boss would do this. Instead of spending their energy, maybe we could do that in the past. Maybe we had enough energy and time and daylight left over that we could worry and try to solve everyone else's problems that we have no control over. And that worked. It's not working anymore. We're tired. I promise, if you solve problems that have solutions and you spend your energy and you train your brain to start getting into solution-based thinking and solve problems that have solutions and solve problems that are yours to solve and solve problems you can do something about rather than the past, other people's personalities, the stock market, whatever. Your life can be better. Your life can be easier. Those 35,000 decisions you make a day will come much easier, and you will make the decisions you are proud of and help lead others into making decisions they are proud of. And it won't seem so hard. So check out my book, Problem Solved. I finally brought it up here. So if you want to see the book cover, it's got the maze. There you go. Can you see the maze on it? I love my book cover. Looks so good. And I love the solutions in there. I surveyed hundreds of people about what problems they're trying to solve and broke down, use the strategies. Like you have conflict with a coworker is trying to steal your ideas or taking credit for your ideas in meetings. You need to put your parents in healthcare. You have a healthcare scare. You are trying to decide if you're going to break up with someone. You're trying to decide if you're going to be in a relationship with someone. Your kids aren't doing well in school. Like these are all the problems that are covered. And there's really not that many. Right? When I started surveying, I started to get the same answers. And I was like, this is so exciting. We can like take these problems and provide a structure for people. So it's easier to know what to do and get past the fear of making that decision. So check out my book, Problem Solved, Simple Habits for Complex Decisions. Actually, don't check it out. If you love being stressed out and being frustrated with the people in your life and being frustrated you're not get the results you're getting, obviously I'm talking tongue in cheek here. You just keep doing you. But if you want more time, less money, or more time, more money, less stress, I make like $2 off each book. I promise I'm not taking your money on this one. It's like basically cost of paper now. So you want more time, you want less stress. Thank you. More time, less stress, and more time on what matters most. People can create amazing lives if they focus their energy on problems that have solutions. You can have whatever you want. You can have more money. You can have the best body in the world. You can have I know because I've seen it happen over and over and over again. And we'll never get what we want if we continue to focus our energy on problems that don't have solutions, problems that are not ours to solve, or we're just stuck in decision-making fatigue of like, I don't know what to do. I make 35,000 decisions a day. I'm just tired. And if that happens, please forgive yourself. You weren't taught a process for this, but I would love to help you learn a process for it now. Problem solved, simple habits for complex decisions. Thanks so much.